are now listening to Mr. Z Blackneffect.
Fair use, fair use. Fair use, fair use. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Yes, we are late. Y'all already know why. We ain't gonna put it in the comments. Reckless, right? There's a couple of videos that's kind of circling the internet, social media, with the ladies talking they talk. Yawn. We will be covering a couple of them. We're essentially in 2026. Donald Trump has been reelected, actually only the second president in US history to be elected, then not be elected, then be elected. Okay. Women, Black women in specific, voted for Kamala Harris more than Donald Trump. For Black women, by far, Kamala Harris. Economic environment's changing. Geopolitical environment is changing. Domestic policies and politics changing. And yet, women, Black women in specific, seem to not appreciate what that means for them. And so the way they speak about men in relationship and leadership is the same as they've been speaking about it for the past, give or take, 50 years, 60. Why this matters is because I would argue, and you're going to see in a minute, that much of why men, Black men, are moving and speaking the way they are concerning their livelihood, concerning potentially having children, raising children, their obligation to the brotherhood, their obligation to a community or the Black community in specific, is because of the way the women are speaking. The title of today's stream is Let Them Talk. And when we let the ladies talk long enough, really, Z, when we let the ladies speak long enough, they will eventually come out and say it. Say what, Z? Even if they don't mean to, a bit of truth.
I have a cousin who only likes white girls, and I was like, so why? He was like, because of you. He said, you're my example of a Black woman, and I don't want that. I said, what the fuck?
Did we not say this on this channel? It is not just Black boys and Black men's lack of intimacy or them not being seen as desirable by their female peers in middle school, high school, grade school, college, right? It is also their platonic and familial relationships. It is the way Black women conduct themselves, how they speak, and quite frankly, that Black women want to operate a stone cold gynocracy, some call it matriarchy, within the Black community. A matriarchy, gynocracy, if you want to be accurate, that Black women admit to.
Well, look, for me, it has never really been about Black man or man. It's been about men. Mm-hmm. You know, there's this myth out there that Black men can't handle being spoken to, you know, and told what to do by Black women. Black men come from our bodies. Yeah. So Black men have Black mothers. So they're used to having these conversations with women.
The matriarchy is strong with the Black community.
It is very strong.
Yeah.
Conversations with women.
The matriarchy is strong with the Black
community. It is
community.
very strong.
Yeah. The matriarchy is strong with the Black
community. It is
community.
very strong.
if black women were what if black women were supposed to be the leaders and black men are just supposed to protect with their muscles and use their listening ears and carry out instructions?
Huh? Yeah, y'all heard right. That young lady admitted, and we've said this before, that her cousin dates nothing but white girls. That's what she said. And when she confronted him about it, he's one of the few brothers that actually tell the women the truth. He said, yeah, because of women like you.
I have a cousin who only likes white girls, and I was like, so why? He was like, because of you. He said, you're my example of a black woman, and I don't want that. I said, what the fuck?
Yes, ladies, your negative liberty, your roguish ways, your autonomy, your quote unquote liberation, your freedom, huh? How reckless you speak, how mean you are, how condescending, materialistic, consumerist. Black men take note, black boys take note, and they move accordingly. What black women were able to hang their hat on for the longest is, well, at least I didn't leave. At least I stayed. I did the best I could. Your sons and your nephews and your guy cousins see your behavior and they move accordingly. They don't want that as a wife. They don't want that as a girlfriend. They don't want that as a baby mama. They definitely don't want that as a rageful, angry, bitter baby mama or ex-wife. And they move accordingly. That does not mean that a white woman couldn't do him dirty also. That does not mean that a Latina or a non-black woman, Asian woman could not hurt him also. What that does mean is that this type of behavior is overrepresented in the black community amongst black women, and your sons will move accordingly. Let me say this for the 1,000,000th time. It is not the black manosphere. Ladies, it's you and your behavior. As KMS, shout out to KMS, as KMS has said multiple times, there is too much pain in the system. Ladies, your behavior and your view of black men, relationships, intimacy, and your job and your role is the pain. Huh? Trell said it'd be that mouth. Ladies, that reckless ass mouth. The smug, the sass. Ladies, you don't owe the men not being smug and sassy. The men will just move accordingly. Black boys and black men will just move accordingly. What does accordingly mean, Z? He's gonna show up to Christmas dinner and Thanksgiving dinner and Christmas unwrapping with the Latina, with the white woman, possibly an Asian woman. Dear black women, you owe black boys and men nothing. Black boys and black men appreciate this and they move accordingly. They don't owe you dealing with, quote unquote, handling your reckless, mean ass mouth. Huh? Dear ladies, the young lady said it straight up. And she said, what the F at the end? Yes. Ladies, mothers, black aunts, black grandmothers, black girl cousins, Black sisters, both older and younger. The boys and the men are taking note. Black boys and black men are taking note. They are. Yes, they are. Huh? And they're moving accordingly. Non-black men and boys are taking note. Huh? And they are moving accordingly. Your cousin told you the truth, madam. He's not the only one. Black women, you don't owe black men not conducting yourself in a ladylike manner. You don't owe black men being ladylike. You don't owe black men not using profanity. You don't owe black men being overly sexually promiscuous or excuse me, using raunchy language. And you don't owe black men that. You don't owe black men being fit. You don't owe black men being friendly. Rest in peace, Kevin. You don't owe black men femininity. Dear ladies, girls, and women, you don't owe black boys and men any of it. And conversely, black men and boys don't owe you being around for relationship, for intimacy. Black boys and men don't owe you first right of refusal. They don't owe you a relationship. They don't owe you, quote unquote, elevating to your level. They don't owe you not being colorist. Ooh, goddamn. They don't owe you not being featurist. They don't owe you not being texturist. They don't owe you when he becomes successful and he's earning good money and he's fit. He doesn't owe you first right of refusal, dear ladies. You don't owe black men kindness and consideration. Black men don't owe you consideration for relationship. Black men don't owe you subsidizing you. Black men don't owe you walking down the street holding Becky's hand and smiling and looking in her eyes. Black men don't owe you being cordial. Black men don't owe you that brotherhood. If he sees you going through something, someone's trying to assault you or attack you, he doesn't owe you stepping in. He doesn't owe you risking his life. Can you maintain a community like this? Absolutely not. Are black women perfectly okay with not having any obligations and demands put on them? Absolutely. Ladies, if what liberation and negative liberty and autonomy and freedom look like to you is absolutely no restraints on your behavior and having no demands put on you, huh? You not owing or having any obligation to anyone, if that's what it looks like to you, black boys and men will move accordingly. And what accordingly looks like is marrying out, dating out, mixed children for black men. If you don't believe me, check that interracial marriage rate for black men. Check the marriage rate for black men. Oh, and on the other side, check the marriage rate for black women, especially over the past decade or so. Is it stagnant? Is it rising? Or is it dropping, decreasing? Whoopsie. Huh? Play it again for the people, Z.
I have a cousin who only likes white girls, and I was like, so why? He was like, because of you. He said, you're my example of a black woman, and I don't want that. I said, what the fuck?
Now, Mr. Z is guessing this young lady is some type of Caribbean descent, just by her voice and whatnot. I'm assuming that she's some type of Caribbean descent. Regardless, the statements, they still stand. Black women, you owe black men and boys nothing. And black men and boys, in turn, owe you nothing. Black boys and men don't owe you popping up, showing up to the family get together with a black woman, with a dark skinned black woman. They don't owe you that. Huh? And they will move accordingly. So shout out to that young lady, right? At least she said it once again to the title. Let them talk. Ladies, if you owe men nothing, not kindness, not femininity, huh? Not being promiscuous, not him meeting you and you have 3-figure bodies on you, huh? A kid or 2 or 3, 4 from different men, student loan debt up to your eyeballs, consumer debt up to your eyeballs. If you don't owe him, you not being that, then he doesn't owe you his success. Mr. Z's not advocating for this, but black women are. They just didn't read the fine print. Huh? Black women didn't read the fine print to see what their autonomy would cost them, and it cost them everything.
It'll cost you. It may cost you a little. It may cost you a lot. But it will cost you.
No, sir. For the masses of black women, their autonomy didn't cost them a little. Their autonomy didn't cost them a lot. Their autonomy cost them everything. What's the everything, Z? Ooh, you about to say it, Z. Black men. Oops. For the masses of black women, their autonomy cost them stability. It cost them children in wedlock. For some of them, it cost them children, period. Oops. It cost them companionship. It cost them everything. It cost them not being scared when something goes bump in the night. It cost them not being the pass around for their coworkers. Oops. It cost them not being the pass around for the neighborhood D-boys. Pun intended. Huh? It cost them not being triple X frustrated. It cost them everything. It didn't cost them a little. It didn't cost them a lot. It cost them everything.
It'll cost you. It may cost you a little. It may cost you a lot. But it will cost you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Huh? So we'll play it one more again and moving on.
I have a cousin who only likes white girls, and I was like, so why? He was like, because of you. He said, you're my example of a black woman, and I don't want that. I said, what the fuck?
Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. As the young lady said, you really don't have a response to that. The fascinating thing is that black women don't really have a response to that. Other than your mama black, that's where your mama black comes in from. You're obligated to black women because it was a black woman that birthed you. Yeah, but I don't care for your behavior. I don't care for the women in my family's behavior. I don't care for the way they view black men. I don't care for when I was growing up how y'all would speak about black men and boys. I don't want to know or think that my black baby mama, girlfriend, wife is having a war council with her homegirls and they're talking about my peen size or how horrible the sex is or how broke I am or how corny I am, how incapable and inept I am, and how she secretly run the relationship, but she lets me feel like I do. Or she overtly runs the relationship and she know and I know that she does. I would much rather not have that. And that does not mean that Latinas don't have their ways and white women don't have their ways and Asian women don't have their ways. But black women have shown a level of contempt for black men that I just don't want to be a part of. Madam, your cousin said all of that in those few words that he said to you. Yes, he said all of that. Huh? Black women, you don't owe black men not being who you want to be. But you have to appreciate black men and boys, everyone from your sons, your nephews, your brothers, your cousins, your fathers. They don't owe you taking a black woman up for consideration, for relationship, to be subsidized. Continuing.
And this is, I feel like, a really important message to get out to men. Because I do believe that a lot of men have the perspective that you have, which is bring that 50. And I think men have to understand what that means and what you get when you expect a woman to bring 50%. Like, I can bring 50.
Yeah.
And I know women who can bring 60, 70.
Okay.
Okay. But as a man, do you really want what 50 plus brings? Because 50 plus brings a lot of energy. It doesn't bring neck energy. It's bringing head energy. And so when we talk about women being the neck, men being the head, right? Like it's bringing more head energy.
Let's pause right there because that was a funny. Mr. Z will take either one. Mr. Z will take the neck energy and the head energy. You know what I'm saying? You know? Madam, I don't know if you really meant it the way Mr. Z interpreted. I know what you meant, but the inner 12-year-old said, look, Mr. Z will take the neck energy and the head energy. We'll take either one. Either one will go. Giggity. It's not bringing neck energy, it's bringing head energy. Mr. Z said either one. You can bring both. We're going to play it again. Let Mr. Z get serious again. Here we go.
And this is, I feel like, a really important message to get out to men. Because I do believe that a lot of men have the perspective that you have, which is bring that 50. And I think men have to understand what that means and what you get when you expect a woman to bring 50%. Like, I can bring 50.
Yeah.
And I know women who can bring 60, 70.
Okay.
Okay. But as a man, do you really want what 50 plus brings? Because 50 plus brings a lot of energy. It doesn't bring neck energy. It's bringing head energy. And so when we talk about women being the neck, men being the head, right? Like it's bringing more head energy. And so understand that, right? If you want a woman to bring the table and then some to the table, you get what you pay for, literally.
That is true.
So this is a threat. You know, the lady could say it how she wants to say it. She was very mild-mannered in her delivery. She didn't raise her voice. Really, she sounded like a mobster. This was straight gangster talk. This was straight gangster talk. This was that I'm not going to raise my voice. I'm going to be very mal-mannered. I'm going to be even tone, almost monotone in my delivery. And really what I'm doing is levying the biggest threat ever. Huh? The threat is either you buy me out at the highest level, you provide me with all the luxuries, all the creature comforts, huh? I get to practice conspicuous consumption at the absolute highest level, or I give you my ass to kiss. I will be the meanest, rudest, smug, asshole woman you have ever met in your life. Huh? I will make you pay. Wait, Z, wait for it, for not paying. Oh, wow. I will make you pay for not paying. Huh? Chrissy, we're not putting words in your mouth. Kim Foster, we're not putting words in your mouth. FD Signifier, we're not putting words in your mouth. We're not putting words in these ladies' mouths. Mr. Z could have went somewhere completely different with this and made it funny, but we're not putting words in these ladies' mouths. These ladies are speaking the way they are, and we are correctly and accurately interpreting and reading what they say and what they mean. This lady was out here threatening men, huh? And she's not the only one. We have other videos of women out here straight up threatening black women, threatening black men. Hey, if you make me have to lift a finger, oh, I'm sending you to the grave early. If you make me have to lift a finger, get ready for that massive heart attack. She's not the only one who talk like that. Play it, Z.
I'm making this as a PSA to any man that ever thought he had a chance with me or any man that wants a chance with me. If you like 50-50, stay where you're at, baby, because this mouth is only going to get more egregious. I promise you that. I'm paying these big bills and you think I'm not about to be talking to you out the side of my mouth? Watch this. Watch this.
Mr. Z is willing to put $1,000 on it that these women don't know each other. I'm willing to put $1,000 that they never seen the other one's video. I'm willing to put 1,000 on it right now, and they're saying the same thing. How is it that they're saying the same thing when I'm willing to put 1,000 on it right now that they don't know each other? FD, this is the worldview. This is the view of an increasing amount of women, particularly black women. They did not mean that equality, FD. Foreign. They didn't mean it. Huh? Consciously. Alvin from waving the red flag. The women, the masses of them don't mean it. I'm not talking about that little handful of quote unquote progressive black women that really know what it costs and they're okay with it, and even they're not really okay with it. I'm talking about the masses of women, particularly black women. The second you show them where they ain't gonna come with patriarchy, these paymaster men, they start levying threats like this. Play another one, Z.
That if you are broke and I choose to deal with you, I will belittle you. It is what it is.
Huh? The ladies are levying threats if I have to lift a finger financially. Oh, I'm going to be talking to you crazy. I'm going to be mean. I'm going to be an asshole. Huh? Shout out to all the feminists, white, black, Latina, Asian, or otherwise, who keep on telling us, no, it's the men, they're insecure and they're intimidated by successful women and women who seek therapy and women who are highly educated and women who are sure of themselves and know themselves. Shout out to all of you lame ass men. All of you cucked men, and Mr. Z don't even use that word lightly. All of you cucked ass men who keep telling us, no, it's you. You. Hey man, I'm telling you, you gotta let go. It's your manhood. It's the way you're interpreting it. Do you know how many videos we can find of everyday women, white, black, Latina, Asian, and otherwise, but especially black women because they're the loudest, essentially saying the same thing? Look, if I have to lift a finger financially, oh, I'm gonna be disrespectful. I might even like you. I might actually love you. But you got me lifted a finger financially? Oh, the fangs are out. Play another one, Z.
What top tier? Your dick is not equal to my fucking pussies. Point blank,
His
period.
dick ain't equal to your fucking bills neither.
God damn. Look, at the end of the day, I ain't
Them
fucking
bills
no broke ass
them
nigga.
bills got your name on it. They don't have his dick name on it.
At the end of the day, I ain't fucking no broke ass nigga. Do what you want with your pussy.
Yeah, you don't have to fuck no broke ass nigga.
Straight up.
Look, no, You can fuck a nigga that ain't broke. That's not a problem. But just because he ain't paying your bills, don't mean he fucking broke. That mean it ain't his goddamn responsibility. Your bills got your name on it. It don't have his dick name on it.
Okay, you're right. I land my plane.
You see how that mouth tighten up?
The young lady said overtly, straight up, his peen is not worth as much as my vagina. That's what she said. His rod is not worth as much as my vagina. He's gonna have to pay. Just in case, for some of you that can't get through all the super hood talk, the street talk, and how did she frame it back to the young lady with dreads? You could be okay with that 50-50 stuff, little woman. That's what she's saying. Maybe your lame ass is okay with that, but over here, oh yeah, he gonna have to pay. And when she uses this kind of sexual talk, appreciate what she's really saying is he's not worth as much as me as a man, so he gonna have to make up the difference by paying for me. And to be frank, everyone sees men like that. The disposable sex. Ain't that right? Ain't that right, planet Earth? Men are the disposable sex. Okay, fine, says the men. And what do we get for being the disposable sex? And over the past, I don't know, 2 centuries, definitely over the past half century, planet Earth has said, Z, you still there? Z still here. Fine. Men are the disposable sex. Okay, fine. Men are the ones, young men on top of that, are the ones you send to go gangster something away from another nation. And then they send their men to protect it. To protect whatever the thing is. Oil, gold, women, oops. Fine. Men are the disposable sex. Men's rod of God, black men in particular, is not worth as much as women in their womb. Okay, fine. And what do the men and the boys, particularly in the black community, what do they get for that? And planet Earth says, the West says, America says, Black America in specific says, crickets. You get women's presence. That's what you get. You're right, relevant. Irrelevance says that's not Earth's fault. That's humans. No, you're right. You're right. All right. So appreciate this lady is being a whole gangster by speaking like this, very smooth. Her delivery, she didn't raise her voice, right? She was very calm, but she levied that threat. And the threat being, if you have me going 50-50 financially, I now reserve the right to be the biggest asshole ever. She didn't have to say those words exactly. Once again, let Z say it again. Chrissy, Kim Foster, FD Signifier. We are not misinterpreting your words. We are reading your words accurately, as Mr. Z is doing with this lady. She wasn't irate. Shout out to all you white feminists, men and women, white feminists, who, because Mr. Z talk like this and is more animated, and the ladies speak like this, you actually believe the women, or you pretend you do. Just because she was speaking like this, and she didn't use any profanity, does not mean she is not levying a threat on men, black men in specific. Yeah, I hear what we're saying about that equality stuff, but if you have me going equal financially, oh, that's your ass. Oh, I'm gonna be the meanest, snarkiest, rudest person on the face of the earth. You have me going 50-50 financially. We're gonna play it again just in case some of my subscribers, some of the new listeners, any randos that's listening, just in case you didn't really hear what this lady was saying. Listen again with this lens on and see if you don't hear what Mr. Z heard. Continuing.
And this is, I feel like, a really important message to get out to men. Because I do believe that a lot of men have the perspective that you have, which is bring that 50. And I think men have to understand what that means and what you get when you expect a woman to bring 50%. Like, I can bring 50.
Yeah.
And I know women who can bring 60, 70.
Okay.
Okay. But as a man, do you really want what 50 plus brings? Because 50 plus brings a lot of energy. It doesn't bring neck energy. It's bringing head energy. And so when we talk about women being the neck, men being the head, right? Like it's bringing more head energy. And so understand that, right? If you want a woman to bring the table and then some to the table, you get what you pay for, literally.
That is true.
You get what you pay for. And because you're not paying exorbitantly, because she doesn't get to be a woman of leisure, you get the attitude that you get. You get that asshole, roguish, boss hog, boss girl energy. Regardless if the woman has money or wealth or not, that's besides the point. That's what the lady is saying. Appreciate that. Move accordingly. This was a threat. What this lady did right here is a threat. Appreciate what you get for not being well resourced and paying for this woman exorbitantly. Mr. Z couldn't even get exorbitantly out. We're going to play the beginning one more again because there's something else I want to add.
And this is, I feel like, a really important message to get out to men. Because I do believe that a lot of men have the perspective that you have, which is bring that 50. And I think men have to understand what that means and what you get when you expect a woman to bring 50%. Like, I can bring 50.
Yeah.
And I know women who can bring 60, 70.
Okay.
Okay. But as a man, do you really want what 50 plus brings? Because
As a man, do you really want what 50 plus brings? Madam, if you did not hear, Mr. Z is not advocating for this. There are no more men and women. Uh-oh. See, ladies, I don't suggest this. Two could play that game. Madam, if you get to show your ass because you weren't paid for exorbitantly, appreciate because there are no more men and women. I didn't say male and female. I said men and women, as in playing that particular role. Then that means now you dealing with sassy dudes. Have fun with that quote unquote energy. Uh-oh. What happens when that man is wittier and smarter than you? Ooh. What happens when his insults cut deeper than yours? Ooh. Huh? What happens when you call him a mama's boy and he say, well, that's why your daddy wasn't there? Ooh, goddamn. Huh? What happens then? If what you're saying is because you didn't hit this financial milestone or requirement, I now get to be mean and disrespectful. I like you enough, or I find you attractive enough to want to have bedroom fun with you. I like you enough, or I find you attractive enough to maybe live with you, maybe even be married and have a child or two from you. But because you have me going 50-50 financially, I reserve the right to be an asshole. What happens when that man says, okay, fine? Because we're playing that game, and what you're saying to me is that you will not play a more feminine role because you're going 50-50 financially. He then gets to respond, well, fine. When you do that, I will take the gloves off. I don't owe you being stoic. I don't owe you being the man of very few words. I don't owe you stiff upper lip. I don't owe you not being sassy. I don't owe you watching my mouth. I don't owe you having the last word. I don't owe you that. And because you're moving this way, I will then move accordingly. And so instead of dying of a massive heart attack because of me holding my tongue for year and year and decade, I will respond in kind. Uh-oh. What happens then? Madam, you're not the only one who can levy threats. You got to appreciate what she is saying here. As a man, huh? As a man, you have to appreciate either you pay for her exorbitantly at the highest level and make sure she doesn't ever lift a finger financially, or you get what you get. And that's what she's saying. Once again, you can find white women and Latina and Asian women who speak like that. But of course, the loudest people in the room, black women. Black women appreciate that black boys and men are moving accordingly. So to the young lady that says her cousin said to her that the reason why he doesn't date black women, or the reason why he's not looking at black women, is because of her, appreciate when your cousin says you, he means all of you, black women.
I have a cousin who only likes white girls, and I was like, so why? He was like, because of you. He said, you're my example of a black woman, and I don't want that. I said, what the fuck?
Young lady, your cousin is responding to his mom and his aunt and his grandma and just random black women that he has heard speak like this. And yes, he may not know white women that well. He's not in their spaces enough to know that some of them think like this also. But your cousin is responding to black women being exceedingly loud about thinking and feeling and moving like this.
And this is, I feel like, a really important message to get out to men. Because I do believe that a lot of men have the perspective that you have, which is bring that 50. And I think men have to understand what that means and what you get when you expect a woman to bring 50%. Like, I can bring 50.
Yeah.
And I know women who can bring 60, 70.
Okay.
Okay. But as a man, do you really want what 50 plus brings? Because 50 plus brings a lot of energy. It doesn't bring neck energy. It's bringing head energy. And so when we talk about women being the neck, men being the head, right? Like it's bringing more head energy. And so understand that, right? If you want a woman to bring the table and then some to the table, you get what you pay for, literally.
That is true.
You get what you pay for, literally. We know FD doesn't listen all the time. He probably only has ever listened once or twice, really. Same thing with Miss Foster. Same thing with Chrissy. At least Chrissy we know have listened before. We know FD signifies listened before. We suspect that Kim Foster has listened before. As Mr. Z said before, talking about before, we are not putting words in your mouth. We are not putting words in the women's mouth. Tell me this lady was not threatening men, threatening black men, that if you're not paying at the highest level, I reserve the right to be an asshole. And she's not the only one. This is the prevailing ideology amongst black women in specific. Just because y'all can't interpret what they mean, what do you mean, Z? Well, you have to understand all the stress I'm under and all the work. And whenever black women start saying that, they are saying what she's saying. Huh? And if you want a woman to rest in her femininity, they are saying what she's saying. Just because you refuse to read accurately what women mean does not mean they don't mean, wait for it, what they mean. Huh? All that neck energy, head energy thing. Yeah, it's funny. As I said before, Mr. Z will take either. Both, actually. And what is she saying? The head energy is the masculine energy. The neck energy, this is some Christian, weirdo, feminist Christian crap. Yeah, he's the head, but I'm the neck. I'm the one who points him in the right direction. All that weirdo talk. That's what she means, by the way. The neck is the support for the head. That's what she means, by the way. But that's not the way Mr. Z took it. Not 12-year-old Z, anyway. She's saying, if you have me paying 50-50 towards the household financials, then you have removed me from being the support, the neck energy, to now being the head energy, the masculine. And I will conduct myself accordingly. She is threatening men. She is threatening black men in specific. And black boys and men will move accordingly. Huh? And Mr. DJ says, I travel often. Women overseas work much harder than American women, and they still bring femininity. Yeah, but there's something about American white patriarchy, American white capitalism, American quote unquote democracy. I'm gonna tie all of this together in a minute. Hyper consumerism and materialism. When you put all of that plus different ethnicities, religions, cultures, races, when you put that in the blender, in the American blender, what the women are saying is, yeah, but you got to buy me out of that. You got to buy me out of being roguish. You have to buy me out of being quote unquote in my masculine. You have to buy me out of that. So yes, in other places, these women may work harder and they may work, 12-hour days and yet still be generally more feminine. Not to mention, men can enact some act right on the women. There's that too. Uh-oh. Men get to enact some act right on the women also in these different parts of the world. Not saying the men abuse it or use it too often, but we all know if she go too far, he can enact some act right, and other men won't jump in the way. In America, women can talk to you crazy, women can lay hands on you, and you're just supposed to take that. When you put all of this in the blender, what we have, because of white elite men, we have put so much cards on your everyday woman. She's running the board. And yes, because it's a rigged game, it's besides the point. She's running the board. So she gets to be both feminine and quote unquote masculine. She's really not masculine. Huh? The women are looking up. It's similar to what social media has done to this society, right? To the planet, really. Everybody gets to see the king's castle now. Everyone gets to see what it looks like inside the king's castle. How the queen lives. How the prince and princess live. And the ladies are saying, oh, hell no. Y'all want me to be feminine and friendly and fit? And y'all don't got me living like that? Oh, hell no. In the West in specific, in America even more specifically, the ladies are saying, y'all can't provide me that? And y'all want me to be what? You know what? I'd rather be single, which we don't have a problem with the ladies being single. But are the single women just single? Or are the single women single, toxic, spreading their toxic sludge all over the place, spewing their toxic nonsense all over the place? Are they just single? So this is what this brand of women, black women in specific, that's what they're saying. And Mr. DJ says, what we have is entitlement. Oh, the entitlement is off the Richter scale. It's over 9,000. It's off the Richter scale. It breaks the Richter scale, actually. The entitlement is next level. Oh, Mr. Z, know that. Huh? And Inspired Truth says, you can pay money, but you get disrespect regardless. Yeah, that's a thing. We know that's a thing. And on that side, that's because men are not allowed in this society to enact any act right. And when Mr. Z says that in this case, we're not just speaking about physical act right. We are also speaking about financial. Look at how the women call everything that doesn't kiss their ass some type of abuse. financial abuse, emotional abuse, obviously physical abuse, everything. Alienation, all of it. The lady said, hey, if I feel a smidge of discomfort, it's abuse. Everything must be so careful with their emotions and feelings. This is why they done turned therapy into a goddamn religion. Because everything has to be so perfectly in tune with my feelings and my emotions, and can't really challenge my very, very weak, insensitive, and delicate emotional state. Huh? So yeah, Inspired Truth, you could get disrespect either way, even with the money. Because you can't enact any type of act right. Huh? You silent treatment, emotional abuse. You enact some physical act right, obviously physical abuse. Huh? You say, you know what, give me all your credit cards, financial abuse. Well, damn. Huh? You try to talk it out, you're not respecting her boundaries. Which once again goes right back to emotional abuse. You're not respecting her boundaries. And these weirdos all across America said, you know what? Yeah, the ladies are right. Yeah, yeah. It's all of it's abuse. So yeah, they've allowed for all of this disrespect towards men. And that's why the men and boys across the West, across America, across Black America are moving accordingly. Elite rich white men are using the women as the buffer class because they do not fear them at all. These little pink pussy hat wearing women, you think Jeff Bezos is in any way threatening Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk? Huh? Bill Gates? Donald Trump? They're a joke. Huh? The BLM queer women, do you think Donald Trump is or at least was, the least bit threatened by any of them? Huh? So yeah, the ladies get to disrespect you because the elite men said, yeah, you know, we just gonna keep on using them as a buffer class. The women ain't really challenging nothing, they just talking. Huh? So yeah, the ladies get to be disrespectful. Man. Disrespectful to your everyday man. They get to even be disrespectful to men who are subsidizing them because they know the court system is heavily in their favor. Family court is heavily in their favor. Huh? Yeah. So that's why the ladies move accordingly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, thank you for the super chat. Inspired you. Thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. So we're gonna play Miss Gangster with the Threats. Huh? We're gonna play her one more again, and then we'll speak about it on the other side.
And this is, I feel like, a really important message to get out to men. Mm-hmm. Because I do believe that a lot of men have the perspective that you have, which is bring that 50. And I think men have to understand what that means and what you get when you expect a woman to bring 50%. Like, I can bring 50.
Yeah.
And I know women who can bring 60, 70.
Okay.
Okay. But as a man, do you really want what 50 plus brings? Because 50 plus brings a lot of energy. It doesn't bring neck energy. It's bringing head energy. And so when we talk about women being the neck, men being the head, right? Like it's bringing more head energy. And so understand that, right? If you want a woman to bring the table and then some to the table, you get what you pay for, literally.
That is true.
The gangster, y'all. The absolute gangster. These are threats, everyone. She is levying threats. And Gregory Scotland says, what do I get if I bring 70, 90? You get a slightly more pleasant and feminine woman. That's what she's implying here. But Gregory Scotland, and to everyone else listening, did the women not fight for equality? Did the women not fight to work? Did the women not fight to be promoted if they're the better candidate? Did the women not fight for that? Did the women not fight to be in control of their finances, regardless if they're single or not, to have control over their finances, to own homes without men, to drive, to make expensive purchases, to take on debt and loans by themselves? Did the women not fight for that? Once again, to all the technocrats, did y'all tell the women what it would cost them? You did not. You did not, because only a handful of women actually can tell you and describe to you what that autonomy actually means for them. The tax on them of their own autonomy. Only a handful of women can actually describe to you what that means for them.
I understand why some people seem to imagine that a woman has less of a right to autonomy and responsibility and moral convictions. Those are mine, and they belong to me, and they are just as important in making a woman a person as they are in making a man a person. And at the end of my life, I would like to look back and take ownership of everything I did and say, yes, here are my triumphs, and yes, here are my darkest shames, but at the very least I can stand by those shames and say, I did this, I can own this. I can justify how I got here because these are my mistakes and not someone else's mistakes that I must now answer for because I was unwilling to make my own choices. I want to be unable to blame or resent anyone else for my own failings. I don't want to be bitter because it was out of my hands. I want to become wise because it was in my hands, and sometimes I did the wrong thing with it.
But let me be very clear. When I say
that is what true autonomy sounds like. Now, does this young lady actually mean what she's saying? Maybe, maybe not. But at least she's able to describe it. To all the technocrats and social designers, what the ladies are telling you, what that gangsta-ass black woman I've just played is telling you is, when she is hit with what her autonomy cost, she's going to give the bill to the man. When she is hit with what her foremothers fought for, her ability to go to work, the two income trap because the women flooded the workforce. And so now houses done double and triple and quadruple and quintuple in price. Car prices on average, new car prices are $50,000. Home prices are $400, $420, $450. And so now that women are met with half the damn bill of that $50,000 car, of that $450,000 house, they're trying to pawn off the half of the bill to the men. And if the men don't pay the half of the bill, which means they paying the whole bill, they're paying their half and the woman's half, then the women reserve the right to be assholes. Now that young white lady that I just played described to you what the autonomy cost. How many women appreciate that their autonomy has a tax on it? Freedom is not free. Huh? Freedom is not free. To the technocrats, to the feminist professors, gender studies professors, did y'all say to the ladies, and we know you didn't, that their freedom has a cost to it and they're the ones who gotta pay it? Uh-oh. To the feminist and gender studies professors, to the academics, to the technocrats, to the social designers, did you say to the ladies in your classes that their autonomy cost and the ladies are going to have to pay for their autonomy? They can't pawn off the cost of their autonomy to the men or to quote unquote society? Did you tell the ladies what it will cost them?
It'll cost you. It may cost you a little. It may cost you a lot. But it will cost you.
Huh? What we hear all through social media and the internet, what we hear and see in real life amongst our female co-workers, our female family members, our female associates, random women, we overhear their conversation, is the women do not appreciate that their autonomy and their freedom and liberation from men and what men think and feel cost the women something. It cost the women security. Ooh, damn. Huh? It cost the women something. Huh? And now the women are attempting to threaten men. Well, if you got me going 50-50, then I can give you my ass to kiss. If you got me going 50-50, if you got me paying any of the bills, then you might as well bend over and let me have my way with you. Oh, wait, y'all think women aren't talking like that?
I'm not submitting to no man that expect me to go 50-50. You want your wife to bear your children, cook, clean, work enough hours to handle big bills, and take care of you? You expecting me to pay big bills, baby? I'm gonna want some bussy when I get off of work. Fuck is you talking about? Bend that ass over. Let that bussy breathe. This what you wanted, right? 50-50, right? And I do mean assume the position when I get off of work. As soon as I get off of work, that ass better be tooted up. As soon as he get up off me, I'm gonna look at him like, my turn. My turn.
Huh? That was a threat. We heard it, and we're going to move accordingly. Huh? So the ladies and their foremothers fought for equality, fought for freedom from men, fought for them to still be considered women and ladies when they're not attached to a man. They live on their own. They don't have a boyfriend or a husband. They don't live under their father's roof. They're still considered women. Women fought for all of that. To not to have to adhere to a man's rules within the home. The women fought for all of that. And yet, when presented with the bill, the emotional, spiritual, financial, physical bill for their autonomy, the women try to pawn it off on the men. Your autonomy wasn't and isn't free. Freedom isn't free. And so now, as I played before, and we'll play one more again and we'll move along. Black women in specific are telling you, oh, that's gonna cost you something. Wait, what? Wait, the men? Why is it gonna cost the men something? This is what you and your foremothers fought for. Why is it gonna cost the men you working? Didn't it cost the men enough? Isn't the workforce split? Why is it costing the men you working? Why is it costing the men you having a bachelor's, master's, PhD, MD, JD? Why is it costing the men? Why does it cost the men that you earn $100,000 a year? You earn 120, 150, $250,000 a year. Why does it cost the men that? No, ladies, you pay your own freight. You pay for yourself. That was in the fine print. Huh? Yeah. Continuing.
And this is, I feel like, a really important message to get out to men. Because I do believe that a lot of men have the perspective that you have, which is bring that 50. And I think men have to understand what that means and what you get when you expect a woman to bring 50%. Like, I can bring 50.
Yeah.
And I know women who can bring 60, 70.
Okay.
Okay. But as a man, do you really want what 50 plus brings? Because 50 plus brings a lot of energy. It doesn't bring neck energy. It's bringing head energy. And so when we talk about women being the neck, men being the head, right? Like it's bringing more head energy. And so understand that, right? If you want a woman to bring the table and then some to the table, you get what you pay for, literally.
That is true.
Whole gangsta out here, y'all. She not saying what she said. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Z, did I hear that correctly? Y'all heard it correctly? I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Uh-oh. Huh? Continuing. Oh, our favorite mixed Haitian ADOS woman. Continuing. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat.
Hey Kirby, so excellent point with this, and thank you for this comment. I did a little bit more digging, and I didn't see anything about bats, but I do want to speak a little bit more about the bonobos and dolphins, because they also fit under the mammalian umbrella that we as humans also fit under. And yes, I did see that they also will have their moments face to face. And upon a little bit more digging, like I knew this about bonobos, but I wasn't sure about dolphins. I knew this about orcas, but I didn't know if it fit under most dolphins also. So bonobos and dolphins are mostly bonobos definitely, and most species, it seems like the vast majority of species of dolphins are also matriarchal. So I just find it interesting that within this conversation about facial recognition in moments of schmacks throughout the animal kingdom, when it happens within mammals, the societies that they function in are led by the females. So these are not societies that are when it comes to partnering, it's not led by who is the most powerful, who can do them, who like more patriarchal standards of what it would take to mate. These are spaces that are more communally focused. I know definitely for bonobos, the most violent bonobos, the biggest bonobos aren't necessarily the ones that mate. It is the gentler ones. It is the ones that participate in the community activities and the child rearing, the more gentle ones that can add to the society. And the fact that that overlaps with who gets to reproduce. And I need to do a little bit more digging about how this shows up in dolphin cultures. I also recognize dolphins are sociopaths, but they're objectively one of the most intelligent creatures on the planet also. So I find this fascinating. Like this need to be able to see your partner, to be able to recognize your partner, while also overlapping in the Venn diagram of societies where the females are empowered within their species, within their cultures. It's giving.
You have to appreciate how slick women are with their words, especially Black women. At the end, Shayna says how the females are empowered. That's not your argument. Your argument is not for females being empowered. Your argument is for females being in power. Oops. So as well as Shayna speaks, essentially what Shayna just said here, y'all, as well as she speaks, right? She sounds some type of neurodivergent as hell. Shayna said the same thing as Munchkin here. Oops.
As a man, if you don't have house core job, don't look for a woman with house core job. And for the men that complain about women that do that, look for a man that has all three and they don't have all three. We can do that. We are women. You want us. You need us. Y'all want one thing from us. And mad because we boss y'all around because you're a fucking servant. You're a provider, right? You're a protector, right? You're a security guard and you're a goddamn assistant. Know your place. Stop being contradicting and bow down. Because I'm sick of it.
Pan the Man says, this is that community unit BS. That is exactly what Shayna was saying. Hey, if y'all don't participate in quote unquote community, and what does community look like to them?
What if black women were supposed to be the leaders and black men are just supposed to protect with their muscles and use their listening ears and carry out instructions?
Shayna literally just described that. That's what Shayna just described. What Shayna is doing also is levying a threat. Either you gonna play community where women run it, or you could just not have no vagina. We taking our vagina off the table. Unfortunately for Shayna, black men always have a whole kind of African and dark-skinned black women, a whole nation in South America with 80 million black people, give or take half of them are black women. Shout out to Brazil. The whole Caribbean full of black women. And if he doesn't necessarily care to be with a black woman, a whole planet where at least 4 billion of the people on it, planet Earth, third rock from the sun, blue green dot, at least half of the planet is full of women. So no, Shayna, your threat doesn't pass here. It doesn't get black men all spooked up and scared. Oh, what are we gonna do if we don't bow down to Shayna and these other weirdo black women and their aspirations for a matriarchy, a godnocracy if you want to be accurate, a matriarchy that they're gonna call egalitarian, then we won't get no vagina. Huh? Yeah.
Well, look, for me, it has never really been about black man or man. It's been about men. Mm-hmm. You know, there's this myth out there that black men can't handle being spoken to, you know, and told what to do by black women. Black men come from our bodies. Yeah. So black men have black mothers. So they're used to having these conversations with women.
The matriarchy is strong with the black
community. It is very strong.
Yeah.
Conversations with women.
The matriarchy is strong with the black
It is
community.
very strong.
Yeah. The matriarchy is strong with the black
It is
community.
very strong.
Yeah.
Told you. I told you. I told you.
And shout out to Edward Anderson. Exactly. Shayna said the same thing that Munchkin said. Bow down. She said the same thing that the young dread black woman said. What about if black women were supposed to lead, black women are supposed to lead, And black men are supposed to use their muscles, their listening ears, and carry out instructions. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what black women call a community. Every word out of their mouth is to finagle that right there. What if black women are supposed to lead? Black men are supposed to use their muscles and their listening ears and carry out instructions. That is the quote unquote egalitarian community that we keep on hearing about.
What if black women were supposed to be the leaders and black men are just supposed to protect with their muscles and use their listening ears and carry out instructions?
Everyone, the black community, constructed and illustrated and narrated by black women. This is black women's ideal black community. Huh? Yeah. Once again, to Panda Man's comment, this is that community unit BS. That is exactly what Shayna described. That is exactly what Shayna described. Shout out to you, Shayna. We heard you the first time. We ain't going. No men are going, Shayna. Shayna, they're going to release affordable artificial wombs sooner or later. Sooner than later. And y'all really ain't going to be able to call nothing after that. When women no longer act as a stopgap between men and reproduction, oh, it is over. And Mr. Z does not necessarily want to see that world. Ladies, if y'all are calling men all type of sexist monsters and whatever the hell y'all want to call men now, oh man. Yeah, Shayna, yeah, the threats, the threat of matriarchy or nothing, yeah. I think the site's done caught up, Shayna. It's a little too late. Nice try, though.
Hey, Kirby. So excellent point with this. And thank you for this comment. I did a little bit more digging, and I didn't see anything about bats, but I do want to speak a little bit more about the bonobos and dolphins because they also fit under the mammalian umbrella that we as humans also fit under. And yes, I did see that they also will have their moments face to face. And upon a little bit more digging, like I knew this about bonobos, but I wasn't sure about dolphins. I knew this about orcas, but I didn't know if it fit under most dolphins also. So bonobos and dolphins are mostly bonobos definitely, and most species, it seems like the vast majority of species of dolphins are also matriarchal. So I just find it interesting that within this conversation about facial recognition in moments of schmacks throughout the animal kingdom, when it happens within mammals, the societies that they function in are led by the females. So these are not societies that are when it comes to partnering, it's not led by who is the most powerful, who can do them, like more patriarchal standards of what it would take to mate. These are spaces that are more communally focused. I know definitely for bonobos, the most violent bonobos, the biggest bonobos aren't necessarily the ones that mate.
I want to say this to Shayna and to all the women, particularly obviously black women that speak like this. Make us. Make us. Huh? And Eric Denman, I was thinking the same thing. Make us. Eric Denman says, well, Z, if they want to assume power so badly, why won't they just build their army and take it by force? Isn't it like 2 million more women than men? Let's see if they're willing to die for that power. They're not. They're not. Shayna, make us. Shayna, black women have been thinking and definitely talking like you for at least a good 50 years, 60. And increasingly, black men are marrying and dating outside the black race. Uh-oh. Shayna, black women have been feeling and definitely thinking and definitely feeling and even increasingly more saying what you just said. Black matriarchy or nothing. And your sons, even though you don't have any children, your sons are moving accordingly. And moving accordingly, what that looks like is, well, dating and marrying out. Shayna, make us adhere to this gynocracy. Matriarchy if you want to be kind, gynocracy if you want to be accurate. Shayna, make us do it. Shayna, your biggest hurdle, absolute biggest hurdle, is going to be to have Black women leave the peen alone. Ooh, goddamn, have fun with that one. Before you can move an inch, talking about inches, before you can move an inch, Shayna, you're going to have Black women leave the 5 and 5.5 and 6 and 6.5 and 7 and 7.5 and 8 and 8.5 and 9 and 9.5 and 10, goddamn brothers, and 10.5 and 11 and 12-inch members alone. Have fun with that. Have fun implementing this matriarchy if you want to be kind, gynocracy if you want to be accurate, by women taking their vagina off the table. Have fun with that. That's your biggest hurdle. Talking about big. That's your biggest hurdle, Shayna. But Shayna, even if you were able to, Shayna, even if you were able to accomplish this, Black men in America always have non-Black women. The non-Black women who aren't anti-Black, or at least not anti-Black man, or at least not anti-Black man enough, well, they take their vagina off the table for Black men. Black men with a few dollars and a passport always have other countries and nations. Shayna, good luck on implementing your Lestrada ass dreams. Isn't that what it's called? When the women take their vagina off the table? Huh? Good luck on that. You're going to have to tell the ladies to leave the male member, the Black male member on top of that, alone. Leave it alone. Let it go. Literally and figuratively. Uh-oh. You're going to have to tell Black women to leave Black men's male member alone. Huh? Have fun with that. Yeah. Huh? Yeah. Huh? So let's play Shayna again.
Hey Kirby, so excellent point with this, and thank you for this comment. I did a little bit more digging, and I didn't see anything about bats, but I do want to speak a little bit more about the bonobos and dolphins, because they also fit under the mammalian umbrella that we as humans also fit under. And yes, I did see that they also will have their moments face to face. And upon a little bit more digging, like I knew this about bonobos, but I wasn't sure about dolphins. I knew this about orcas, but I didn't know if it fit under most dolphins also. So bonobos and dolphins are mostly bonobos definitely, and most species, it seems like the vast majority of species of dolphins are also matriarchal. So I just find it interesting that within this conversation about facial recognition in moments of schmacks throughout the animal kingdom, when it happens within mammals, the societies that they function in are led by the females. So these are not societies that are when it comes to partnering, it's not led by who is the most powerful, who can do them, who like more patriarchal standards of what it would take to mate. These are spaces that are more communally focused. I know definitely for bonobos, the most violent bonobos, the biggest bonobos aren't necessarily the ones that mate. It is the gentler ones. It is the ones that participate in the community activities and child rearing, the more gentle ones that can add to the society. And the fact that that overlaps with who gets to reproduce. And I need to do a little bit more digging about how this shows up in dolphin cultures. I also recognize dolphins are sociopaths, but they're objectively one of the most intelligent creatures on the planet also. So I find this fascinating. Like this need to be able to see your partner, to be able to recognize your partner, while also overlapping in the Venn diagram of societies where the females are empowered within their species, within their cultures. It's giving. It's giving.
Shayna, we hear you. We hear you. Women are superior. You gonna have to prove it, Shayna. Shayna, we hear you. Women are superior. Shayna, you are going to have to prove it, Shayna. The females of these species are superior. Cool. Your examples are different species in the animal kingdom. Cool. But as human beings, Shayna, you're going to have to prove it, Shayna. Have fun with that. Shayna, have fun with that. More male police officers, it's not even a competition. More men in the military, it's not even a competition. More men with guns, it's not even a competition. Men are 20% physically stronger than women, it's not a competition. Men are more in the STEM field, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, which create all the, weapons. Have fun with that, Shayna. You're gonna have to prove it, Shayna. More drone operators, men. More pilots, men. More fighter jet pilots, men. Keys to the red buttons all across the world, men. Have fun with that, Shayna. You gonna have to prove it. Huh? Shayna, have fun with that. Huh? Women are superior to men, Shayna. The world would be a better place if it was female-led. America would be a better place if it was female-led. Black America would be a, wait a minute, we already got an example that's not, but okay, fine. We're just going to pretend like we don't have the example. I don't know the past 60 years. Black America would be a better place if it was female-led. Shayna, you're going to have to prove it. Have fun with that, Shayna. Huh? And have fun, Shayna, convincing the biggest, tallest, strongest men to bow down to women, or women will take their vagina off the table. Shayna. This is a result of a comfortable first world. Shayna, I would suggest you read and watch a few documentaries about how that's exactly gone for women. I'm not going to say it here because Mr. Z don't advocate for that type of behavior. Shayna, you should know better. Shayna, the LeBron James size brothers, huh? The Anthony Joshua size brothers on planet Earth, Shayna, if they wanted to get to you, none of us could stop them. The Mike Tysons, huh? The Kimbo Slices of the world, huh? Even the Adesanyas of the world, Shayna, if they wanted to get to you, Shayna, none of us could stop them, Shayna. If we had weapons, yeah. But Shayna, hand-to-hand combat, Shayna, if they wanted to get to you, Shayna, we can't stop them. Two of us can't stop them. Maybe three of us can't stop them. Shayna, nobody's stopping LeBron if LeBron want to get to you, Shayna. Huh? If Anderson De Silva want to get to you, we can't stop him, Shayna. Huh? We can't stop George Foreman. We can't stop Muhammad Ali. Shayna, Mayweather isn't that big of a dude. We can't stop Mayweather, Shayna. Shayna, you sound like a person that is way too comfortable with the status quo. Or you've taken it for granted. Maybe that's what Mr. Z should say. You've taken it for granted. Shayna, do you appreciate? See, Mr. Z been in physical altercations with other men. It's been a very long time. Shayna, you don't know what it's like to be knocked upside the head, Shayna. You don't know what force feel like, Shayna. I'm not going to say the brother's name here. Shout out to this brother, Professor. Y'all know who Mr. Z talking about. The brother could lift 400 pounds. We got a number of men in the black manosphere. Forget 300 pounds. They could lift 400 pounds. Shayna, you can't do nothing with a man that could lift 150 pounds, let alone 400 pounds, Shayna. Shayna, you can't do nothing with a man that could lift 150 pounds, let alone 250 pounds. 400 pounds, Shayna, a guy that could lift 200 pounds and that knows how to throw haymakers and knows how to punch, most men can't do nothing with him. What do you think you and other women could do with him? Huh? Shayna, Corey Holcomb said this once. It was the funniest thing. They were talking about fighting and whatever, and Corey said the realest thing. 6 months of basic MMA, just the basics, and that one man can lay most men out. We're not talking about a professional fighter. We're not talking about somebody that was in the underground circuit. We're talking about someone that took basic MMA, mixed martial arts, for 6 months. Most men on planet Earth couldn't do nothing with him. Shayna, what you think a woman could do with him? Shayna, what do you think you could do with him? We're not talking about somebody that's been in mixed martial arts for 2 and 5 years. We're not talking about somebody that's a professional. We're talking about someone that's 6 months basic training. You can't do nothing with him, Shayna. We'll give him the average height and weight. 5'9", 190. Your average American man. 5'9", 5'8", 190, 195 pounds. Most men, the 6'2" guys that don't know how to fight can't do nothing with the 5'9" guy. Shayna, what do you think a woman gonna be able to do with him? Did we not witness when Mayweather did the exhibition with was it Logan Paul? Did he have to hold Logan Paul up? How much smaller is Mayweather to Logan Paul? Was it Logan, right? It wasn't Jake, it was Logan, right? It was the older brother. It wasn't the brother that fought Anthony Joshua, if I'm not mistaken. Was not Mayweather carrying Logan Paul? Huh? And Shayna, you think if the big bads, the big strong men on planet Earth, in America, in Black America, Mr. Z's not advocating for this. But let us let you hear the real. If they wanted to take you, they could. Huh? They could. Forget your laws. Forget what's correct and what's right and what's moral and humane and civilized. Shayna, if they wanted to, they could. Huh? We just witnessed Andrew Tate over here dozing. Huh? Shayna, if Andrew Tate wanted to take any woman on Earth, what percentage of you could fight him off? We just watch him get Dazed. Shayna, if Andrew Tate wanted to take any woman on planet Earth, how many of you could stop him? Huh? How many of you could stop him? Shayna, what you're saying sounds nice because you grew up in a first world country and things are relatively civilized, particularly in the West, right? Around the planet, for the most part, the places where people like to frequent, tourist areas, definitely in the West, things are relatively civilized. Men are relatively civilized. They don't believe in might makes right, particularly concerning women. No one's trying to necessarily harass women or assault women. Men generally take no for an answer, but appreciate this, Shayna. For these men, the big bads, right? If they wanted to take you, they could. Huh? So, what could the men do if the masses of women took the vagina off the table? Well, if he was a moral person and he followed the laws, he would just move along, right? Rightfully so. But if he said to hell with her humanity, to hell with her right to say no, to hell with all of that, appreciate he could have his way with you. And there's nothing any man in your life could do about it short of, obviously, using some type of weapon. Huh? And that's the real uncomfortable truth, Shayna. All that matriarchal talk sound nice, but when you scale that and bring it over here to the human world, have fun with that. Men don't want to live that way. That's why we don't, Shayna. Men institute laws to make sure that other men and women follow them, and women get way too lax with not following them. But men make sure to relegate and regulate men's behavior. Shayna, the men that say to hell with that, and they have some physical force and some fighting ability behind them, most men can't do nothing with that. Huh? Your lightweight and welterweight men will sleep your 6'2" and 6'3" men that don't know how to fight. We're not talking about street fight. Huh? So you really can't do nothing with a Mayweather. Too many people are waiting. You could tell, Mr. Z went through a little rabbit hole on Instagram. There's a channel that shows essentially the equal less for the equal rights, right? And you could see these women ain't never really been struck before. They initiate the altercation. They're the ones who raise their voice. They're the one who make initial physical contact. And when they get struck, they never been struck before. They haven't been struck since they got the pow pow from their dad when they were like the last pow pow when they were like 7 or 8 years old, 6 years old. And they definitely never been close fists by a man. You could see it in the ones in the high schools. You see it in the ones for the adults out of college. Forget talking reckless. The women are initiating the assault, and then she the one who's left slept. Shady, you gotta be careful how you talk. Y'all ladies are way too comfortable with this weirdo talk because y'all don't realize how ugly it could get. Shayna, we're both Haitian descent. You not paying attention to what's going on in Haiti right now? You don't appreciate how ugly it could get? Huh? All right, Leon. Have a safe trip, bro. Leon says, peace out, Z, and everyone. My plane about to, what he said, head out to Baltimore. Yeah, about to take off to Bmore. Yep, yep. So once again, I want to emphasize this. This is not Mr. Z advocating for this. This is Mr. Z saying, though, hey, don't get too comfortable talking this reckless. It sound good. Anyway, continuing. We're going to play Shayna one more again. Talking about delusional.
Hey Kirby, so excellent point with this, and thank you for this comment. I did a little bit more digging, and I didn't see anything about bats, but I do want to speak a little bit more about the bonobos and dolphins because they also fit under the mammalian umbrella that we as humans also fit under. And yes, I did see that they also will have their moments face to face. And upon a little bit more digging, like I knew this about bonobos, but I wasn't sure about dolphins. I knew this about orcas, but I didn't know if it fit under most dolphins also. So bonobos and dolphins are mostly well, bonobos definitely, and most species, it seems like the vast majority of species of dolphins are also matriarchal. So I just find it interesting that within this conversation about facial recognition in moments of schmacks throughout the animal kingdom, when it happens within mammals, the societies that they function in are led by the females. So these are not societies that are when it comes to partnering, it's not led by who is the most powerful, who can do them, who like more patriarchal standards of what it would take to mate. These are spaces that are more communally focused. I know definitely for bonobos, the most violent bonobos, the biggest bonobos aren't necessarily the ones that mate. It is the gentler ones. It is the ones that participate in the community activities and the child rearing, the more gentle ones that can add to the society. And the fact that that overlaps with who gets to reproduce. And I need to do a little bit more digging about how this shows up in dolphin cultures. I also recognize dolphins are sociopaths, but they're objectively one of the most intelligent creatures on the planet also. So I find this fascinating. Like this need to be able to see your partner, to be able to recognize your partner, while also overlapping in the Venn diagram of societies where the females are empowered within their species, within their cultures. It's giving. It's giving.
And I was out here highlighting y'all comments. Let's see if I'll read some of them. Wait a minute. Big Mo says, Charles Faulkner got the strength of 100 women, and there are tons of those types in the military and police. I've seen them. Huh? I've seen them. I've worked with them. Huh? I've seen them and worked with them. The ladies don't appreciate what they're dealing with and who they're dealing with. Yeah. Lion says, hell, sparring is exhausting. Yeah. Big Mo says, sparring women in Muay Thai is a waste of time. It's like sparring an overgrown child. Yeah. Telescope says 94% of people don't know what it feels like to be hit full force by a large, angry human male. Look, I don't think these ladies fully appreciate. We have watched men literally delete each other with their bare hands. Delete each other. You're talking about two fighters, two physical specimens. The person that died isn't a weakling. He could beat most men on planet Earth also. He just isn't as good as the guy that beat him. Huh? Mayweather fought Canelo. Mayweather won. Mayweather fought Pacquiao. Mayweather won. Women couldn't do nothing with any three. None of those. No, all three of them. Women couldn't do nothing with them. Huh? Anthony Joshua just broke Jake Paul's jaw. Most women on planet Earth couldn't do nothing with Jake Paul. Most women on planet Earth couldn't do nothing with Jake Paul. And when we say most, we don't mean 51% most. We mean like 95, 99% most women couldn't do nothing with Jake Paul. Most men couldn't do nothing with Jake Paul. So we know most women couldn't do nothing with Jake Paul. And he's not even a professional boxer. Huh? Ladies, all of that sound nice. Shayna, what you're saying sounds nice. Until you appreciate that you couldn't stop a man that wanted to get to you. The reason why men aren't moving that way is because we don't want to. It's that simple, Shayna. Ooh, what about if we just took our vagina off the table and we would make the men adhere to community rules where they're essentially community eunuchs? Even the big bads, even the super strongs, the super fast, they would have to adhere to the gynocratic rules because we took our vagina off the table. And what would the rest of us do if those men decided, you know what? I'm going to go take that. Uncomfortable thought, isn't it? Huh? Make you scream in your chair, doesn't it? Yeah. We'll leave it alone. Unlike the women with peens. Anyway. Huh? Yikes. And I'm just reading through you guys' comments. Longo says, that voice is giving annoying. Annoying as F. Yep. Yep. Shout out to her. You know, she's traveling around the world. She's doing her thing. Last time I checked, she was celibate or not in no relationship. Shout out to Shayna. Right? Shout out to Shayna. But Shayna, as Mr. Z says often, the outliers are doing too much talking. Shayna, you are an outlier. And you're doing too much talking. If we scale what you say, you know what? Let's do this. What happens if men across the planet, let's say single men, say, you know what? No more dates. No more paying a random cell phone bill or random car note. Women don't get $1 from me. I won't lift a finger for a struggling woman. Married men and men in relationship, y'all got it. Y'all gonna take care of y'all women and all the single women. What happened if all the single men say that today, Shayna? Across the planet, you want to scale this? Fine. Across the planet, if every single male said, because we're going off of your example, Shayna, right? If every single male said only the men in relationship and only the married men will do for women, all women, and us single guys We're not lifting a finger. Now what? If this is your hypothetical, Shayna, we'll go with it. Let's go with your hypothetical, Shayna. The men that don't adhere to the gynocracy, the matriarchy, if you want to be kind, get nothing. They don't get vagina. Fine. What happened if they say, all right, cool, we don't get vagina, the rest of society don't get anything? You know what? As a matter of fact, my parents left me a few $100,000 in a paid off house. I'm not even going to work. Oops. I don't have any children. I'm not married. And I have enough money, especially if I become a minimalist, to live off of my parents' life insurance money for the next 5 or 10 years. What happens to society, Shayna? What happens to America in specific, Shayna, if the single men said, you know what? Fine. Prison rules it is. The ladies said they're going to take their vagina off the table. I won't chase. And I won't participate. Now what, Shayna? I'm not helping no female, not the little girls, not the women. Your battery dead, you looking for a jump start, you better go ask a married man or a man in a relationship with another woman. Huh? Yeah, I was your sugar daddy. I was sliding you $200 for your cell phone or whatever the hell. You're getting none of it now. Shayna, what happens if the men responded in kind? If the single men responded in kind? Fine, we don't even have to speak about the physicality of men. Fine, if the men said women get nothing. If single men said that, we're going for your hypothetical. Now what? You think married men, men in relationship, and all the women can hold up the sky? Shayna, you know how we know that ain't working? Because it's not working. Uh-oh. Shayna, 7 million men apparently in America don't work. And America is trying its hardest to get them back online. Shayna, your hypothetical sounds nice in a vacuum. It sounds empowering to the women in a vacuum. Sounds good. But when we put it under the microscope, it falls apart. When we put it to the test, your hypothetical falls apart. And this is something you see often with folks who can't do the social math, and women in particular. You gonna say it, Z? The Mike Tyson quote: everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. Ladies, what you say it sound nice until you remember, oh yeah, wait, these single men, they can respond. They can respond verbally, they can respond through their behavior, and they can respond in a number of ways. They could just pull back. Wait a minute, we have that problem now. That's why Brooking Institute, Dr. Richard Reeves, and NYC Professor Galloway are both telling the men, it's soft to pull back. You got to overproduce. A real man overproduces. By the way, I'm going to get to that. We're going to do a stream about that. I see you, Professor Galloway. A real man overproduces. I hear you, Professor Galloway. We ain't doing it. Not for your asshole daughters. Shayna, your professional men, the men that have access to the numbers, the men that appreciate and know what this is going to mean for America if we don't get the men back online, are telling you your hypothetical, forget it would fail. It's already failed. Ooh. Ooh. Shayna, your hypothetical has already failed. Huh? Yikes. That's where Mackenzie Bezos comes in. Huh? Why do you think Oprah has Dr. Scott Galloway on? So, excuse me, not Dr. Scott Galloway. Professor Galloway on. Your hypothetical has already failed, Shayna. Adhere to the matriarchy if you're kind, gynocracy if you're accurate, or you get no vagina. And the men said, all right, cool, then I'll just become a recluse and I'll be 35 in my parents' basement. Or I'll do some small job. I'll have a career, but not nothing too crazy. And I'll become a minimalist and just care about my hobbies and my friends and have my online friends. And yeah, don't care about having children. Don't care about having a woman. So I mean, I don't have to have a big house. I don't have to have a fancy car. I can just stack money, save money. Huh? Shayna, your hypothetical has already failed. It's that simple. Particularly in the black community, single and childless black women have the least amount of wealth in America. The women in the black community in specific, this threat has already failed, Shayna. The black men that you threatened with this, they just dated out. That's what happened. Whether the black women around them said it overtly, verbally, or not. Shayna, this has failed in the black community. Your hypothetical, your little experiment, it's failed. Nice try, it failed. The nerdy guys, the dweeby guys, huh? The geeks, the alt guys, the guys that are just sick of wayward black women's behavior, whether they was told this overtly or not. The women that think like you and said, you know what, yeah, he don't deserve no vagina. No, I don't really, yeah, he's kind of corny. They just moved accordingly. They ended up with Latinas and white women and Asian women. Huh? They got into the military and came back with Asian wives. Shayna, your experiment failed already in the black community. Black and Latina women who never marry are the least wealthy in the US. When you dig through the article, it says childless black women specifically have the least amount of wealth in the US. Shayna, your experiment already failed. It failed. Taking the vagina off the table for the men who aren't adhering and kissing black women's ass, it already failed. Now what? Huh? So you would want to stay, not only, so it failed in the black community, but yet you want to scale it outside the black community to what? America? The world? Once again, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. Shayna, have you ever considered what happens when the single men said, you know what? We won't even impose ourselves on you. Fine, ladies, you could go over there and do what you do, and we'll just be over here tinkering with Triple X robots, with artificial wombs, huh? With designer babies. Have you ever considered that? Shayna, what you're saying sound nice, but you can't scale it. Not for human beings. So the lady said, if y'all don't move the way we tell y'all to move, where essentially we run it, but y'all fund it, as Mr. Z has said before. Oh yeah, I haven't said that in a while. Shout out to my newer subscribers. One of Mr. Z's quotes, you fund it, she run it. Translation: men fund it, women run it. This is their goal. And what happens when the men say yeah about that? Huh? What happens then? Anyway, continuing. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. We're done with Shayna. And rest in peace, Kevin. Shout out to Kevin Samuels. I know some of y'all haven't seen this video, but I have my own commentary to give towards it. And here we go. And shout out to Self Checkout.
So y'all know I was one of those girls that was on Kevin Samuels show. And
to put it plain and simple, dating lives are reflective, but y'all refuse to acknowledge that for whatever reason. Viewer discretion is advised.
And I'm 52 now. I was 48, and he said I was almost 50 and I was old news. And y'all, guess what? I still ain't found nobody yet. I still have not found a man.
Well, for starters, I really wish I could watch that episode that she was actually on, if she was actually on it. Secondly, I'm pretty sure he told you were way past your prime and you should be making adjustments to your dating preferences or expectations. And you probably didn't listen because you felt as if, what does he know? He's just a man online degrading women. But here you are 4 years later, still in the exact same position. No progression at all. Still looking for a relationship. How ironic, huh? So not only was he right about you, this is clearly an attempt to gain more exposure so you can be seen by men that may or may not be attracted to you.
Keep trying to look younger and younger and younger. And I know I don't look like I'm in my 50s. So what is it? Can you help me out? What is it? What's the stuff looking like?
Now, I'll be the first to tell you, if you were to ask me, you do not look like you're 50. So there must be something that's a bit more deeply rooted that we just can't see on the surface. I wish you would have attached the episode that you're actually on. That way it would have been easier to filter through what may or may not be going on in this situation. But I can assure you, ma'am, just because you don't look like you're 50 doesn't make you a suitable candidate for an actual relationship. We don't really know who you are, let alone who you are in an actual relationship. These are a lot of unanswered questions that makes it very, very difficult for a man to see you online and say, oh man, I really want to get with this woman here. If you're going to market yourself the way you're doing now, you might as well put your best qualities up front. The way you look isn't enough for a man to come through and say, you know what? I really want to be with this woman just because she doesn't look like she's 50. But one thing's for sure, two things for certain. If you wouldn't listen to Kevin Samuels, you damn sure ain't gonna listen to me because I am just a normal guy. Y'all keep the change.
She was 48, now she's 52. You could put her in the bucket with Kendra G, in the bucket with Average at Best Lady. Last time I checked, Average at Best was still single, right? Huh? And she's not the first to say, yeah, I was on Kevin and I'm still single. You could throw Vivica A. Fox in there too. Oops. Even though she wasn't on Kevin Samuels. Huh? Yeah. Ladies, you don't have to listen to the men. You could think of the men, black men in specific, as sexist monsters. Sexist, misogynistic, misogynoirist, colorist, featurist, texturist, fat phobic, black women hating monsters. You could think of black men as that all day, every day. But do you have any man, white, black, Latino, Asian, or otherwise? If this is a thing that matters to you, and by the way, ladies, it does matter to you. And no, we don't believe all of you. I don't care. I decentered men. Yawn. Lame ass. Shout out to all the ladies that get on the internet to tell us that they decentered men. Oh, shout out to all the women that get on the internet to tell us they don't care about the male gaze. Okay, yeah, that's it. Huh? Yeah, that's it. Don't care about men's opinion. Don't care about the male gaze. They decentered men. They like who they are. They're not going to change for no man. They don't want no man in their house. They like their space. They don't want any man in their space. Shout out to all you ladies who get on the internet. You literally record yourself saying this and then post it, and we're supposed to believe you. Yeah, that's it. Right? And y'all gives you a second. And we're back. But yeah, why this matters. My title is Let Them Talk, the stream. What Mr. Z is showing you over and over and over again, one, what women say and what they mean. Two, women really try to push this gynocracy in the black community in specific. Three, women admitting that they ain't listen to nothing Kevin Samuels said, and we're 4 years later and they're single as hell. Four, women admitting to you that their male family members are saying, yeah, if I'm supposed to end up with a black woman like you, I'm not ending up with no black woman. Huh? So shout out to the lady, Miss 52-year-old, who admits she was on Kevin Samuels 4 years ago, and she's still single. Yeah. What do you think? Huh? Why all of this matters is this is who black men were supposed to be relegated to. Black men were supposed to be relegated to women who own male family members said, yeah, you are a horrible example of a black woman. That's why I'm out here chasing after the white girls. Black women who tell you, if I have to lift a finger financially, I will be disrespectful. Huh? This is what black men are supposed to be relegated to. Black women who tell you, either y'all adhere to the matriarchy or you get no vagina. Black women who tell you, I was 48 years old, I seeked help for being in some type of relationship with the quote-unquote high-value man. I did not listen to that person that was attempting to give me a bit of wisdom, and here I am 52 and I'm still single. These are the people that black men were supposed to end up with. Younger black men, middle-aged black men, and older black men. This is who we were supposed to end up with. This is who the black community, wayward black men, and just about all black women, this is who they're chastising, criticizing black men for not taking up to consideration. Huh? This is who black men are having. Folks are wagging their finger at black men. This is who they're wagging their finger at black men for. This is black America's daughters that black men were supposed to end up with. You were supposed to take her off the lot. You were not supposed to leave her on the lot. You were definitely not supposed to send her back to the dealership, and definitely don't send her back to the manufacturer. Huh? The title of today's stream is Let Them Talk. We're letting them talk, and this is how they sound. Dear America. They're telling you they changed nothing in 4 years to land them someone who will feel some type of obligation to them. They're telling you, if I lift a finger financially, I'll be an asshole to you. They're telling you, either you adhere to the gynocracy, matriarchy if you want to be accurate, gynocracy if you should be matriarchy if you want to be kind, gynocracy if you want to be accurate. They're telling you, either you adhere to that or no vagina for you. And they're telling you, even my male family members are telling me, yeah, about that. Tell you why I find the white girls attractive. Play the clips, Z. Play the clips.
I have a cousin who only likes white girls, and I was like, so why? He was like, because of you. He said, you're my example of a black woman, and I don't want that. I said, what the fuck?
Huh?
And this is, I feel like, a really important message to get out to men. Mm-hmm. Because I do believe that a lot of men have the perspective that you have, which is bring that 50. And I think men have to understand what that means and what you get when you expect a woman to bring 50%. Like, I can bring 50.
Yeah.
And I know women who can bring 60, 70.
Okay.
Okay. But as a man, Do you really want what 50 plus brings? Because 50 plus brings a lot of energy. It doesn't bring neck energy. It's bringing head energy. And so when we talk about women being the neck, men being the head, right? Like it's bringing more head energy. And so understand that, right? If you want a woman to bring the table and then some to the table, you get what you pay for, literally.
That is true.
Shout out to the gangster with the threats.
Hey Kirby, so excellent point with this, and thank you for this comment. I did a little bit more digging, and I didn't see anything about bats, but I do want to speak a little bit more about the bonobos and dolphins because they also fit under the mammalian umbrella that we as humans also fit under. And yes, I did see that they also will have their moments face to face. And upon a little bit more digging, like I knew this about bonobos, but I wasn't sure about dolphins. I knew this about orcas, but I didn't know if it fit under most dolphins also. So bonobos and dolphins are mostly bonobos definitely, and most species, it seems like the vast majority of species of dolphins are also matriarchal. So I just find it interesting that within this conversation about facial recognition in moments of schmacks throughout the animal kingdom, when it happens within mammals, the societies that they function in are led by the females. So these are not societies that are when it comes to partnering, it's not led by who is the most powerful, who can do them, who like more patriarchal standards of what it would take to mate. These are spaces that are more communally focused. I know definitely for bonobos, the most violent bonobos, the biggest bonobos aren't necessarily the ones that mate. It is the gentler ones. It is the ones that participate in the community activities and the child rearing, the more gentle ones that can add to the society. And the fact that that overlaps with who gets to reproduce. And I need to do a little bit more digging about how this shows up in dolphin cultures. I also recognize dolphins are sociopaths, but they're objectively one of the most intelligent creatures on the planet also. So I find this fascinating. Like this need to be able to see your partner, to be able to recognize your partner, while also overlapping in the Venn diagram of societies where the females are empowered within their species, within their cultures. It's giving.
Shout out to trying to force some type of matriarchy if you want to be kind, gynocracy if you want to be accurate, by black women taking the vagina off the table. Black women's marriage rate is some 28%, madam. I'm pretty sure men can always do what they want to do with y'all because y'all still want it and still not marry you. Well, because too many black women think like you, madam. Too many black women think like you. So the marriage rate for black women will continue to be 28% and declining. Yeah. Nice try, Shayna. Your hypothetical failed, madam. It failed. And on to Miss Kevin Samuels gave me words of wisdom and I didn't listen, and here I am 4 years later. Still single. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Shout out to the replay gang. I didn't say that earlier. Shout out to the replay gang. Thank you button, hype button, please and thank you. Once again, like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Continuing.
So y'all know I was one of those girls that was on Kevin Samuels' show. And
To put it plain and simple, dating lives are reflective, but y'all refuse to acknowledge that for whatever reason. View discretion is advised.
And I'm 52 now. I was 48, and he said I was almost 50 and I was old news. And y'all, guess what? I still ain't found nobody yet. I still have not found a man. And
Well, for starters, I really wish I could watch that episode.
Wait a minute. Because someone told us it's not that difficult. Wait a minute.
Because getting a man is not hard. Can we? Truly. Okay, no matter what happens with my relationship status, getting a man is not an accomplishment in 2023. And it also pisses me off. And this is why, like, Brittany is really fucking setting the free 30-something women the fuck back, okay? You're embarrassing us. Okay? And this is why I will always respect Amber Rose. Because to this day, Amber Rose is like, I'll take your fucking shit. I don't give a fuck. I do what I want to do. Sometimes it's a little cringy, but I'm going to stand on my shit. I'm going to own it. I love this. Whatever. She never switched up. Brittany is doing exactly She's doing exactly what the manosphere niggas talk about, okay? Which is, you have a bad experience with a wealthy, high-profile person, you have a baby, you get dragged through the mud, and then you realize you're in your early 30s. This is their narrative. Their narrative is then you have a baby, you get dragged through the mud, and then you realize, oh, the clock is ticking. And so now you have to completely rebrand into a loud and proud pick me and scold other women about what they're not doing to get them in. That is exactly what they say. Why would stop embarrassing us? Stop embarrassing us. As a single 33-year-old woman, stop it, okay? You know, I hope she at least, gets man she desires. I hope she gets some, good, faithful dick to swoop in or whatever, pay her car note or whatever.
And shout out to Miss Foster, because the manosphere, black manosphere, the black manosphere Negroes are right. That's why we have this 52-year-old who didn't listen to Kevin, who didn't heed his warnings. That's why she's still single 4 years later. Kevin's been gone for how long now? Kevin's been deceased for how long now? Yeah. So yes, Miss Foster, the black manosphere Negroes are correct. Exhibit A, the only exhibit we need.
So y'all know I was one of those girls that was on Kevin Samuels' show. And
to put it plain and simple, dating lives are reflective, but y'all refuse to acknowledge that for whatever reason. Few discretions advised.
And I'm 52 now. I was 48, and he said I was almost 50, and I was old news. And y'all, guess what? I still ain't found nobody yet. I still have not found a man,
Well, for starters, I really wish I could watch that episode that she was actually on, if she was actually on it. Secondly, I'm pretty sure he told you were way past your prime and you should be making adjustments to your dating preferences or expectations. And you probably didn't listen because you felt as if, what does he know? He's just a man online degrading women. But here you are 4 years later, still in the exact same position. No progression at all. Still looking for a relationship. How ironic, huh? So not only was he right about you, this is clearly an attempt to gain more exposure so you can be seen by men that may or may not be attracted to you.
keep trying to look younger and younger and younger. And I know I don't look like I'm in my 50s. So what is it? Can you help me out? What is it? What's the
Clearly, you did not adhere or listen to what Kevin Samuel said, so that means you're a behavioral problem, madam. It's that simple. Your behavioral problem. What is it? Your behavioral problem. We could tell because, well, you're still single, and there's that. It's that simple. And I have to address this. Irrelevance is the bourgeois praising a 304. My. And it's simple. It's the negative liberty. It's the negative liberty. Huh? Ain't no better way to put it. It's what they see as autonomy. I really want to cover that, and I actually have it, but I'll leave it to be covered another time, because I want to bring this up. As a matter of fact, y'all gives you a second. But yeah, it's and we're back. It's the negative liberty. Listen to what she said. Okay, let's play Kim Foster again. And shout out to Relevant. The bourgeoisie praising a 304. Let's hear what she says again, because there's a reason why I like this clip in particular. Because Miss Foster says a lot here. In a short time, she says a lot.
Because getting a man is not hard. Can we? Truly. Okay, no matter what happens with my relationship status, getting a man is not an accomplishment in 2023. And it also pisses me off. And this is why, like, Brittany is really fucking setting the free 30-something women the fuck back, okay? You're embarrassing us. Okay? And this is why I will always respect Amber Rose. Because to this day, Amber Rose is like, I'll take your fucking shit. I don't give a fuck. I do what I want to do. Sometimes it's a little cringy, but
I don't give a F. I do what I want to do. That is why she supports Amber Rose. She supports Amber Rose for that. Amber Rose was out here. She was doing the slut walk. She did what she wanted to do. I don't give a F. F your rules. I do what I want to do. That right there. That is what she actually really appreciates. That's why she supports Amber Rose. Why she's annoyed with Brittany Renner, other than the fact that she knows she'll never look like her, it's because in her mind, Brittany, you're weak. You admitted to the men that they were right. You admitted to them that they were right. You're showing them that you care. Huh? You're showing them that they have a point. Huh? They're keeping score. Shout out to the channel, Gender War Lore. Huh? They're keeping score. Shout out to the channel, Gender Score. Isn't that what he called it? The brother didn't change the title at least, right? He didn't change the name of the channel at least 2-3 times now. It's what they see as autonomy. It's what they see as being quote unquote liberated. That's why Mr. Z says negative liberty. To be free from the restraint or constraint, better yet, of caring what, in this case, what men think. Specifically in this case, what black men think. To be free from that. Right? So as relevant says again, the bourgeoisie praising the 304. It's the freedom that she sees. That's what it's about. I do what I want to do. Listen to her again.
Because getting a man is not hard. Can we? Truly. Okay, no matter what happens with my relationship status, getting a man is not an accomplishment in 2023. And it also pisses me off. And this is why, like, Brittany is really, really fucking setting the free 30-something women the fuck back, okay? You're embarrassing us. Okay? And this is why I will always respect Amber Rose. Because to this day, Amber Rose is like, I'll take your fucking shit. I don't give a fuck. I do what I want to do. Sometimes it's a little cringy, but I'm going to stand on my shit. I'm going to own it. I love this. Whatever. She never switched up. Brittany's doing exactly. She's doing exactly what the manosphere niggas talk about, okay? Which is, you have a bad experience with a wealthy, high-profile person. You have a baby. You get dragged through the mud. And then you realize you're in your early 30s. This is their narrative. Their narrative is then you have a baby, you get dragged through the mud, and then you realize, oh, the clock is ticking. And so now you have to completely rebrand into a loud and proud pick me and scold other women about what they're not doing to get them in. That is exactly what they say. Why would stop embarrassing us. Stop embarrassing us. As a single 33-year-old woman, stop it, okay? I hope she at least, gets man she desires. I hope she gets some, good, faithful dick to swoop in or whatever, pay her car note or whatever.
This is why when women are polled or when they're asked these questions, man on the street interviews, they're like, no, I'm good being single. Or I would love a planet with nothing but women. Because this is the way you're supposed to see it and the way you're supposed to sound as a woman. They're keeping score. You're never supposed to let the men, know that they're affecting you. You're never supposed to let the men see you sweat. That's what I really want to say. You're never supposed to let the men know that. That's what Miss Foster is saying to Brittany right here. You're never supposed to let them see you sweat. You're never supposed to let them know that what men think have an effect on women, and women that adhering to the male gaze, and women that conducting themselves the way the men say, I said it, will affect the women. Huh? As relevance is, the bourgeois praising the 304. Because the bourgeois are saying the 304 is still pushing our agenda. I'm going to go out here, I'm going to slur it up, and I'm going to still have the happy ending. Pun intended. I'm going to slur it up, and I'm still going to have the happy ending. I'm still going to get married. I'm still going to have children within wedlock. Maybe I don't have children in wedlock. So one of these dudes going to be my paymaster anyway. Huh? Miss Foster looks at what she's doing as giving men the middle finger, and what Amber Rose is doing is giving men the middle finger. She appreciates Amber Rose because of Amber Rose's unabashed middle finger to men, to black men. What she didn't appreciate about Brittany Renner is, and she said it, is that you're doing exactly what the manosphere, black manosphere, Negroes say. You have broken ranks. You're a traitor. Huh? And she's not the only one who talks like that.
So
The disrespect I see some of y'all women take in the name of being a girl's girl is insane. Viewer discretion is advised.
tweet says, scared of getting in a relationship because what if it works out and I'll never be single again? I'm almost scared to get into a relationship for real because I don't not want to be single. I want my autonomy. I want to be able to do what I want to do. I want to be able to gaslight you niggas every now and then. I want to be able to do everything that I want to do.
To have this kind of a take is so odd to me because being in a relationship is not mandatory. There's no law. There's no one that can force you. Nothing. It is literally a decision. That's like me coming on here complaining about having to move to Pakistan, knowing I don't have to do it. Literally, there's no law that is going to force me to move to Pakistan. It is simply a decision. Shorty really got on here and said she's scared to be in a relationship because she doesn't not want to be single. Ma'am, is your brain functioning properly? Like, is everything firing on all cylinders the way it should? Because you do know you can be single for as long as you want. As long as you want. There is literally no threat to your singlehood. You are in 100% control on being in a relationship or not being in a relationship. And to think she got on a platform and said this with her whole chest. What'd be wrong with some of y'all? And y'all want me to believe this generation of women is the most educated of all time? You gotta be fucking kidding me.
And sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, I look at you in your relationship and it feels limiting to me. And it might not feel limiting to you, but for where I am and on my journey and like where I am in being single, I couldn't imagine being like, oh, let me tell him.
And to think in the name of friendship, you sat on this platform and allowed that woman to disrespect your relationship that you chose to be in because she's on a different path in life. If it's one thing.
Huh? What did she say? It may not be limiting to you, but it looks so limiting to me. Imagine me having to check in. That's what she's saying. Imagine me having to be like, oh, let me call and let me see how you, let me tell him I'm going here. Let me. Miss Foster's not the only one. This is how black women talk to other black women. Even when you're in relationship with a black man, you better be treating him all type of mean and condescending and rude and bully him. Treat him as an afterthought.
The problem is we don't have enough women disrespecting men. We don't have enough women humbling these men and putting them in their place. We need to start making these men feel worthless because they are, okay? Call him a bitch. Disrespect him. Put him down. Make him feel bad about himself. Like, what's going on here? I feel like we're losing the plot. Like, I'm seeing too many marriages and too many people getting in these relationships. That's why these men think that they're the prize. Because y'all are putting them on this pedestal, making them feel like they're the prize. No. It's your job as a woman to put that man down and put him in his place. Treat him like the animal he is.
Huh? So regardless if you're in a relationship, this is how you're supposed to conduct yourself as a woman, black woman in specifically concerning black men. Huh? Yeah. So relevant, this is what Miss Foster is saying. It seems limiting. You are adhering to what the manosphere, black manosphere, and Negroes talk about. And as I played with the young lady speaking to her supposed friend, and essentially telling her supposed friend, I love that for you, but I could never. My autonomy is worth more than that little relationship you got. And she said in the beginning, I like talking to these men, however. I like gaslighting them. Because for them, that's what empowerment look like. What the women have an issue with on the other side of 35 or 40 or 45, whenever those wrinkles really start to kick them in the Whenever those wrinkles start to kick them in the backside, up the backside, is when the power dynamic flip. When they're no longer the cute chick in the club, proverbially speaking. When they're proverbially, if Mr. Z could pronounce the word correctly, no longer the cute chick in the club, that's when they're angry with the world. But when they're young and things are tight and right, this is how they think.
So
The disrespect I see some of y'all women take in the name of being a girl's girl is insane. Your discretion is advised.
tweet says, scared of getting in a relationship because what if it works out and I'll never be single again? I'm almost scared to get into a relationship for real because I don't not want to be single. I want my autonomy. I want to be able to do what I want to do. I want to be able to gaslight you niggas every now and then. I want to be able to do everything that I want to do.
To have this kind of a take is so...
I like my autonomy. I want to be able to gaslight you Negroes. I want to be able to do whatever I want to do. Nothing wrong with that. Shout out to all of you lame ass dudes in 10 years who are going to wife her. You think she not the same person? Shout out to all you lame ass dudes in 10 and 12 years. In 15 years, who's still gonna be chasing after her and wife her and maybe give her a kid or two. You think she don't think the same? Huh? This is what empowerment look like. They're just angry at the world when those wrinkles start showing up and they can't flex this type of power anymore. While I'm playing this in conjunction with the Kim Foster video in response to Relevant, is to say this is why the quote-unquote bourgeois are essentially advocating for the 304. It's that autonomy. It's what they see as empowering. And what is seen as empowering is being mean and rude and smug and dismissive to men, particularly black men, to be automatically combative and argumentative and very, very, very antagonistic to black men. That is what is seen as empowering to them. What did she say in gaslighting you Negroes?
So
The disrespect I see some of y'all women take in the name of being a girl's girl is insane. Your discretion is advised.
tweet says, scared of getting in a relationship because what if it works out and I'll never be single again? I'm almost scared to get into a relationship for real because I don't not want to be single. I want my autonomy. I want to be able to do what I want to do. I want to be able to gaslight you niggas every now and then. I want to be able to do everything that I want.
I want to be able to gaslight you Negroes every now and then. That is empowering to her. She get off on y'all seeing her as attractive, and then she put your ass in the friend zone. You nothing but a foodie call. Huh? These are the women that, a few months ago, all those women that was like, oh, all my roster acting up. Oh, I got a roster. I have a roster, by the way. But I got a roster. All my roster, I got a tight ship. I run a tight ship. My roster, no. I got a Monday. I got a mechanic. I have a chef. Huh? They get off on that. They get off on knowing you find them attractive and putting you in the friend zone. You nothing but foodie call. That's the turn on. That's what makes them feel empowered. You drooling over her, and she got 3 and 4 and 5 of you competing with each other, and y'all don't even know. Huh? Yeah. This is what empowering is. And this is why you hear Kim Foster saying, yeah, what she like about Amber Rose is that Amber Rose don't give a F. I do what I want. That's what she said, right? That's what she said.
Because getting a man is not hard. Can we? Truly. Okay. No matter what happens with my relationship status, Getting a man is not an accomplishment in 2023. And it also pisses me off. And this is why, like, Brittany is really, really fucking setting the free 30-something women the fuck back, okay? You're embarrassing us. You're embarrassing us, okay? And this is why I will always respect Amber Rose. Because to this day, Amber Rose is like, I'll take your fucking shit. I don't give a fuck. I do what I want to do. Sometimes it's a little cringy, but
I don't give a F. I do what I want to do. And what did Miss Foster say before that? Brittany is setting us free. Oh, Z. Us free 30-something-year-olds back. She's setting us free 30-something-year-olds back. You tied that to the other clip where the young lady is speaking about her autonomy. I'm glad that Relevant inspired this deviation in the conversation, Mr. Z Robin. It has given me a chance to emphasize that clip from Kim Foster that I play over and over again. And why I play it over and over again. To emphasize to any technocrat that might be listening, this is the way your American daughters have interpreted what you say autonomy is. And the men will move accordingly. Your American daughters have interpreted autonomy as meaning they get to be antagonistic to men, as the young lady said, gaslight men, advocate for sexually questionable behavior, and this is what empowering looks like. Generally being insufferable to men and having that behavior backed up by the state. And y'all gives you a second, y'all talk amongst yourselves. We go see what Eric Denman sent us. And we're back. Hopefully you guys can hear me. And Eric, I'll cover that. I'll cover that in maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow, because I would have to download it and everything. But I've seen it. I don't remember it that well, but yeah, I saw it. I saw it. Right. And thank you for that. And Eric Denman says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Z, check your email. That clip fits your stream. It does. We'll double back on this anyway, because this is the song that never ends, right? So yeah, we'll double back on that, and I'll use that.
This is the song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend.
So we have to emphasize that to the new listeners, to the young 20-something-year-olds listening to Z. This is why I say, when y'all meet a good one, you grab her hand and you run for your life. And run for your life does mean, quite literally, being mindful of who she listens to, her favorite content creators, who she listens to, her favorite content creators, what she watches on television, right, on TV. Because this is a common view amongst women, amongst Black women. That negative liberty, that quote-unquote autonomy. What did Miss Foster say? Us free 30-somethings. You are setting us free 30 somethings back. What does free look like to her? Freedom looks like to her not caring what none of these Negroes talk about. We don't care what these Negroes talking about, and we don't have to care what they're talking about. Huh? Yeah. We don't care what they talk about, and we don't have to care what they talk about.
So
The disrespect I see some of y'all women take in the name of being a girl's girl is insane. Viewer discretion is advised.
tweet says, scared of getting in a relationship because what if it works out and I'll never be single again? I'm almost scared to get into a relationship for real because I don't not want to be single. I want my autonomy. I want to be able to do what I want to do. I want to be able to gaslight you niggas every now and then. I want to be able to do everything that I want to do. Yeah.
To have this kind of a take is so odd to me because being in a relationship is not mandatory. There's no law. There's no one that can force you. Nothing. It is literally a decision. That's like me coming on here complaining about having to move to Pakistan, knowing I don't have to do it. Literally, there's no law that is going to force me to move to Pakistan. It is simply a decision. Shorty really got on here and said she's scared to be in a relationship because she doesn't not want to be single. Ma'am, is your brain functioning properly? Like, is everything firing on all cylinders the way it should? Because you do know you can be single for as long as you want. As long as you want. There is literally no threat to your singlehood. You are in 100% control on being in a relationship or not being in a relationship. And to think she got on a platform and said this with her whole chest. What be wrong with some of y'all? And y'all want me to believe this generation of women is the most educated of all time? You gotta be fucking kidding me.
And sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, I look at you in your relationship and it feels limiting to me. And it might not feel limiting to you, but for where I am and on my journey and like where I am in being single, I couldn't imagine being like, oh, let me tell him.
And to think in the name of friendship, you said on this platform.
Huh? It looks limiting to me. Hey, y'all heard that? Huh? Let me read this from Eric Denman. And Eric says, Z, my youngest nephew, who is still in high school, bought his white girlfriend to Christmas dinner. So the oldest nephew has a Latina and the youngest has a white girl. I was laughing my butt off. I'm telling y'all. Huh? Once again, let's play it again.
I have a cousin who only likes white girls, and I was like, so why? He was like, because of you. He said, you're my example of a black woman, and I don't want that. I said, what the fuck?
Dear black women, it's not the black manosphere handing out pamphlets, handing out flyers, attempting to recruit. The young men are coming over here because they're seeking answers to your behavior, to their female's cousin behavior, to their mother's behavior, to their aunt's behavior, to grandma's behavior, to the girls in high school and in college behavior. The boys and the young men, we're not recruiting them. They're sharing our content because of you. Huh? Dear ladies, as KMS has said, as KMS has said, too much pain in the system. The pain in the system is what causes them to come and seek us. To seek us. We have young men that listen to us and they watch FD Signifier. Once FD Signifier start talking about that man-woman stuff and all this sexist stuff, they come and listen to us. They'll listen to FD Signifier for music and for social and political stuff. But the second he mentioned women or black women or they come listen to us. They don't want to hear none of that excusing, minimizing black women's behavior crap. Huh? Eric Denman is telling you his nephew is in high school, bringing the white girl. Does that mean he gonna end up with a white girl? Maybe, maybe not. But he's open and entertaining non-black girls, non-black women. And if you say your oldest nephew is with a Latina, well, Ladies, your behavior, your sons, your nephews, they see your behavior. Shout out to mama. Mama love her baby. Yeah, that's great. But mom, Jesus. Hey, the young men gonna show you what they think through behavior. Huh? Ah. So, and relevant says, has she been uploading? Maybe she just needed her guts managed, chemical imbalance. So hysterical. Someone said earlier something about Miss Foster. No, she's not single. Last time I checked, she's 35. No, actually, she's 36 maybe now. Yeah, she's been in a relationship with fraternity brother, one of the Greeks. She's been in a relationship for a couple of years, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, last time I checked, at least. Yeah, yeah. Last time I checked, at least she's in a relationship. Hopefully, you guys can still hear me. I might be borging. Let me know if I am. Right, but yeah. Ah, I'm not surprised. Wait, actually, oh, let me actually read that again. And Blue Sox says, Z, I had a homegirl text me, are you ready to co-parent? She doesn't want marriage. She's not trying to live with me. She just wants my seed and wants to live with another woman. Yeah, look, I've seen a couple of videos, funny enough. One of which I saved. The other one I didn't. I need to go find it and save it. Actually, there's about 3 of him recently, 2 recent videos. Excuse me, of black women saying some version of what you're saying, where they don't want to live with a man, right? They don't want no man in their house. They don't want to have to change who they are. They don't want to have to clean up after no man, whatever other excuses they want to use. Hey, Mr. Z's all for it. If the ladies want to quote unquote queer their relationships and form different type of relationships, and quote unquote partnering, that's cool. But we don't owe you that. Huh? So if an increasing amount, and BGS has said this to us before, right? Black women they don't want to be with no man. Not really. They might want to have triple X fun, bedroom fun with a man, but they don't really want no man in their house. Didn't we hear this from Shonda Rhimes? Didn't she say similar? Cool. But Shonda Rhimes have the money. Shout out to black women who want this type of dynamic, but no man is really signing up for it. So what you can have is a situationship where a man comes and knock the cobwebs out, right? But sliding you 200 here and 300 there, nope. Relationship, nope. Obviously not marriage. That's not even on the table. Huh? Children, nope. Not unless you could trap him with the oops, baby. Look, women, black women in specific, they could ask for or even try to demand whatever they want. Have fun trying to get a preponderance of men to sign up for it. Blue Sox, can your homegirl find some man to sign up for that? Yeah, some black man. Yeah, she could find one. She could find 1 or 2. I don't want to live with you. I actually am same-sex loving. I want to live with women. Or I'm not same-sex loving, but I want to be part of the coven, but I do want a kid. So, we could do the do for the kid, but I don't really want a man in my space like that. Can she find a man who will sign up for it? Yeah, she can win the lottery. How many men are signing up for that? Even black men. Huh? Ah. Huh? The ladies can do what they want. They can advocate for what they want. It's up to the men to be like, yeah, about that. See the way my manhood work. See the way my masculinity work. So yeah, Blue Sox, let her have that. I'm glad the ladies are showing you how much their autonomy is is worth to them. Shayna looked like she could afford it. Kim Foster looked like she could afford it, even though she's in a relationship. Last time I checked, at least. Huh? Real talk with Yanni looked like she could afford it. Can most black women afford it? Nope. That's why they try to find some slick ass way to separate you from your money and have you be obligated to her financially indefinitely. The oops baby, huh? To be married to you for a blink of an eye, then divorce you and try to take half, some type of alimony, some type of grape allegation where you got to come out the pocket, huh? Sexual misconduct allegation where you got to come out the pocket. Look, you're gonna see women do this in aggregate. I don't even think that's gonna be exclusively a black woman thing, but definitely black women are gonna try to pull that on black men. Try to find some way to separate you from your money without her being obligated to you, so that she could still have her quote unquote autonomy, but subsidized. And that is the goal because women can afford their life. Black women in specific cannot afford their life. So now the goal is to find some way to have their autonomy funded. How can I get him to fund me without me being obligated to him? This is the goal. Shout out to the ladies. Huh? Residuals. You hear me? All hell Balamuccio says residuals, bro. That child support for 18, maybe 24 years, 22 years, depending on the state. And all hell Balamuccio come with another one. Sponsorship by extortion tactics. You hear me? That's what it really is. Shout out to the men who sign up for this. This is the women's goal now. When they realized they couldn't afford their life, huh? That $48,000 a year ain't cutting it. That 52 and 55 and 58 and maybe even $65,000 a year is it's not cutting it. Not for the way she trying to live. So what can she do short of being married to be subsidized? Who can she screw? Who can she play? Who can she foodie call? Who can she bat her eyes at? Shout out to Sister Z. Who can she shake a thigh to? Where somebody gonna drop off somebody. Make that 48,000 really feel like 60. Huh? Yeah. Ah, Vince's mobster style honey trap tactics. For real.
Using the box to shake a man by their ankles is crazy. But that isn't that what women? That's not even a black woman thing. That's a woman thing. Escort? You're trying to escort me? Shout out to all of us that saw Top Shotters. That is what it is. Extortion. And yes, he really did mispronounce extort. Escort. That's the funny part of the movie. Most fets is obligatory. There we go. Subsidy. Yep. Yep. This is the goal. The women know they can't afford their autonomy, yo. Is it a conscious thought that they can't afford their autonomy? To be frank with you, I don't even think they're that self-aware. Ooh, see, you said that. I don't think most women are that self-aware. They want their freedom. They can't afford their quote-unquote freedom, their autonomy from men and what men think. So they try to find some slick-ass way to separate you from your money and have you subsidize her, even though you're not with her and she has no obligation to you. Huh? That's the goal. Shout out to the ladies. You don't owe us being in a relationship with us. You don't owe us intimacy and bedroom fun. Ladies, you don't owe us any of that. You don't owe us intimacy. You don't owe us companionship. And we don't owe you subsidizing you. We don't owe you funding you. And that's just something y'all gonna have to deal with. Y'all better figure it out. That's why Mr. Z comes in and says, go start your Brenda covens. Ladies, especially black women, go start y'all little coven. Huh? Combahee River Collective, go start your little covens. Your cold munching. Y'all, we don't owe you anything. Can you maintain a society like this? Absolutely not. Huh? Absolutely not. So, y'all, Mr. Z looked at the time. We got things to do. All right, y'all. I just want to emphasize that the title for today's stream is "Let Them Talk." Mr. Z did a whole lot of talking, but we played a few clips, a few videos where we can see how the ladies are moving. We've been threatened, right, by two women. We had another one tell you she went from 48 years old to 52 years old and learned nothing. We have another young lady that doesn't appreciate that women like her are the reason why her cousin, her male cousin, is out here with the white girls. And we played one of Mr. Z's new favorite videos. If somebody can find the original, please and thank you, send it to Z. Where the young lady says she could not be her friend because her friend is in a relationship and that relationship looks limiting and her autonomy matters more, which I've played multiple times now. Right? So everyone, thank y'all for listening in today. Let them talk, let the ladies talk. That does not mean you have to entertain her. That doesn't mean you have to entertain them. That does not mean you have to adhere to this weirdo, wacky, delusional worldview and view of relationship in men and masculinity. But when you let the women talk, they're going to talk a lot. When you let the women talk, you get to hear what they actually mean, what they say, what they say. Why that's important? Because it allows for you not to get caught up. Huh? It allows for you to be clear on what she actually means, who she actually is. Yeah. Especially to you younger brothers, you brothers under the age of 30, those women, even black women, the earliest of them, they're looking to get off the carousel at 30. Damn, the earliest of black women trying to get off the carousel at 30, while the other women are trying to get off the carousel at 25. Yeah, you heard right. They're looking at you brothers at 30 and 32 because now they want to get off the carousel, because now for some of them, they're not the cute chick in the club anymore. You got to let her talk on that date. That's if you took her on a date. If you work with her on lunch break, you got to listen to her. Listen to her when she's on the phone with her homegirls and with her mom and with her sisters and with her girl cousins, her favorite cousin. Mr. Z is telling you to ear hustle. Yes, I am. In a non-obvious way, of course. Yeah, you better believe Mr. Z telling you to ear hustle. You heard right. It gives you an idea of who you're dealing with. Or she will have you by the gonads and she will destroy your life. That's for all women. That's not for just black women. You get to know if she's willing to build with you, or if she has that threatening ass spirit. Look, if I gotta go 50-50 with you, I'm gonna be the meanest, rudest asshole ever. Roughest, toughest, dun-dun-dun. I'm gonna be the meanest, rudest asshole ever. You don't gotta wait for her to tell you that literally. You listen to her, you have random conversations with her, you could get that. You'll get that through the conversation. Y'all don't even gotta go on a date for you to know that. Huh? Let them talk, everyone. And on that note, we will pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content, and y'all have a great, great rest of y'all day. Mr. Z out.
You are now listening to Mr. Z Blackneffect.